Okay, what's going on?
Okay, good morning. I would like to call the regular council meeting of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024 at 9:01 a.m. With that, I'll ask for roll call.
Mayor LaValle,
Here,
Councillor Collins, away. Councillor Florent,
Here.
Councillor Kuyak, here. Councillor Pija,
Here.
Councillor Rodnick,
Here.
Councillor Sidok.
here. I'd like to welcome our visitors this morning. Thank you for coming. With that, I will do our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded territory of the Algonquin National people, specifically the Madawaskini people of the Madawaska River. We further acknowledge that the Algonquin people have been stewards of this land since times immemorial, and we strive to treat the land, along with the flora and fauna it supports, the people, their customs and traditions, with honor and respect. Today, this area is home to people of all walks of life, and we acknowledge the shared opportunities and responsibilities to live, work, and survive within this beautiful territory. Shimigwits, all my relations. Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda this morning? Okay, seeing none, I will ask for an adoption of the agenda. Oh, is there someone trying to talk? Oh. Okay, Brian Martin, our CEO, is on Zoom, so just for the record. Good morning, Brian. So with that, I'll ask for a move and a second for adoption of our agenda today.
I'll move.
Moved by Councillor Kuyak, then Councillor Pijot.
That council for the corporation of the Township of South Algonquin adopts the agenda as circulated for the regular council meeting of April 3rd, 2024.
Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof today for today's meeting? Okay. Seeing none, I will move to our presentation. We're asked to do a presentation with Sajia and Chris from Spectre Point, the agents for Rogers. I think it's similar to the presentation that we had last council meeting. So with that, I will turn it over to, is it Sajia and Chris?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council, members of staff. Thanks for the opportunity to appear again today to make a presentation regarding the proposed communications tower C8510 located at 3121 Highway 523. I do have a short slideshow that I'd like to present, so if it's okay, may I share my screen now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Should be good now, Chris.
Okay. I believe I am now sharing, so if everyone can see this, I'll proceed.
We can see it. Thank you.
Thank you. So after our previous presentation in front of council, we were asked to return with some additional information and to answer a number of questions that various council members had regarding the deployment of the proposed tower on Highway 523. Specifically, there were, I think, 4 questions that we wanted to respond to. The first being to clarify council's role with respect to voting for concurrence. And the second being, why can't we move the tower south out of the township? The third being, why is EORN only covering a portion and not the entire area in your township? And the fourth question, how will the township community benefit from the tower? So I'd like to respond to those four questions today. In terms of council's role, I think we hit on this previously, but the federal guidelines require that we consult with the land use authority to follow any protocol that they may have adopted. If there is no protocol, we follow the standard CPC guidelines as outlined by ISED. We're required to consult with staff, which we did. During that consultation, staff asked us if we could move the tower away from the property to the south. And we did that. We moved the tower about a quarter of a kilometer away from the original location to the north and to the east, actually about as far away as we possibly could get it from the neighbor to the south. And so, that was the primary takeaway from our consultation with staff and their main request of us. In terms of council's role, essentially, council's role is to confirm and require that the applicant follow the federal process and guidelines, and the extent that the township has their own protocol, that we follow their own township protocol. And so the vote, is essentially confirming whether or not we have followed that process. So the second question is, why can't we move the tower south out of your township? So this slide shows two different maps with some coverage plots. And you can see on the left photograph, there's a tower that's C8509 to the north on Highway 523. And then below that, you'll see there's a black dashed line. That line roughly represents the border between your township to the north and the abutting township to the south. It's not perfectly accurate, but it gives you a rough idea of where your border lies. And to the south of the border, you can see C8709, which is another site to the south, part of the EORM program that's also being deployed on Highway 523. So in the middle, you can see that there's C8510, which is the site that we're discussing today. The white areas on this map depict areas with little to no coverage. Red and yellow and green, progressively slightly better coverage, moving from, on-street coverage, which would be the red and yellow. In-car portable coverage, benchmark coverage would be the green, and good benchmark in-building coverage would be represented by the blue colors. And so you can see obviously that, yes, 8510 does sit down to the southern portion of your township, close to the border. But the site to the south, 8709, does not cover very adequately north of the border. And 8509 does not adequately cover the southern area, as illustrated by the large, sort of white uncovered areas along the highway, particularly. And so the map on the right shows the coverage of 8510. And you can see that in comparison, yes, a portion of the signal that comes from this site does cover areas south of your border, but the majority of the coverage provided by 8510 is inside the township border. So we had hoped that this illustration would answer that question. If we were to move this site south of the border between your two townships, it would end up in too close to 8709, and it would leave an area that was poorly covered to the south of 8509. So while it does lie relatively close to the border and some of the coverage does go south of your border, it is required to cover the area at that portion of your township. There was another question from council. Why is Eorn not covering the entire township? And there's a couple things. I think that first, the township of South Algonquin, strictly speaking, is not part of the Eastern Ontario region area. It's part of the Nipissing region. But irrespective of that, Eorn elected to provide some coverage and to allocate a significant portion of their funding to deploy 3 sites in their program in your township, despite the fact that, strictly speaking, it wasn't in the Eastern Ontario region. And the purpose of those 3 sites was to improve coverage, particularly the 2 of them on Highway 523, as illustrated by the previous map that I showed. So it isn't part of their mandate to blanket your entire township with coverage. The funds aren't available to do that. But nevertheless, a significant amount of funds were allocated to improve coverage, particularly on your major thoroughfares. So I hope that that answers that question adequately. And the fourth question that we wanted to address today is how will South Algonquin benefit from the tower? Obviously there'll be significantly improved in-car portable coverage. There will be enhanced in-building coverage in areas in relative close proximity to the sites. Excuse me. Also, there'll be significantly upgraded emergency 911 calling service, particularly the large areas that'll be covered with access to the network outside of a car on the street in emergency situations. And then there also is a large increase in terms of access to another option for high-speed internet that will be provided by these sites as well. And so all of these enhanced services will, of course, also support future economic development in the area. So we believe that there will be a significant benefit to the community from these sites that are being deployed as part of the program. This is a map that shows the township area roughly, that weren't able to put the borders on here very accurately, but you can see that there's the site 8709 down here, 8510 here, 8509 up here, and there's a 4th site over here, 8508. These 2 sites that are near township, council's already provided concurrence for those. And so this is the before map that shows the existing coverage. And you can see that there's very poor coverage, particularly along Highway 523. And this is an after coverage that shows the 3 sites without 8510. So it shows these 2, the coverage provided by these 2 that are already endorsed by council. And then the gap area here without the coverage from 8510. And then this last slide shows what the coverage will be like in the township once all 3 of these sites are deployed. So I'll just take a moment to leave this on the screen for everybody to digest. We're certainly available for questions at this point, and I can go back to any of the other slides if there are questions. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm going to see if any members of council have any questions or comments.
I guess if nobody else is going to comment.
I have Joan and Sean and then you, Floyd.
Okay.
Joan. Floyd, they beat you to the punch.
I just wanted to say thank you. I think the clarity was needed and certainly the maps, particularly the last one, shows the much improved coverage, even in our small little area. So thank you.
Thanks, Council. Council Pigeon?
I think, with these charts and these graphs, I think there was some clarification as well. It's all about connectivity. So without that tower being there, there's going to be still that big gap in connectivity along that 523 corridor. So I think it is, I think it's a bonus, or not a bonus, I think it's a plus for the township.
Thank you, Council Pigeon.
It's my understanding that the current proposed site for that tower certainly was not the first choice for that tower, and the first choice, according to my information, was to the north, not to the south at all. And you just couldn't suck a landowner into an agreement, and so you kind of settled on where you are now. And you're saying that you moved it as far away as possible. You omitted to say that you moved it as far away possible on that piece of property. There's certainly lots of better locations for that tower than where it's currently planned to be built. You've kind of moved it from the side door to the front door of the neighbor. The other thing in your preamble there, you said about the process of consultation. Consultation is usually a two-way thing, not just a lecture. And that's what we kind of got in this township, because I was at the meetings, I didn't see anybody in favor of this tower. Nobody.
Okay, thank you, Council Floyd. Okay, so, can I ask the question of what you said on the other townships, were in concurrence? What did the other townships just provide a letter to you of concurrence, or do you remember what the other townships did?
Thank you for your question, Mayor LaValle. Yes, typically townships just provide a letter stipulating that we followed the process and that they concur with deployment of the installation. Your staff has provided similar letters in the past, so I believe they're somewhat familiar with the format of the letter.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I'm going to open up the council to see if any other members of council have anything they want to say or what they would like to. Oh, I'm sorry.
Councillor Rodney.
Councillor Rodnick, sorry, I didn't forget about you. I couldn't see you.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Rodnick. I know, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
It's
And you know
raining.
me, what is this actually going to cost to what's the cost of this whole thing to the township?
Thank you for your question, Councillor. Through you, Madam Mayor, if I may respond. The cost of the township, there is no cost.
None at all.
None whatsoever.
Well, then
Only
who's doing the RFP?
the RFP for raising funds to
Wow.
deploy the Yorn Towers. Is that what
I
you mean?
guess. Yeah,
Bill, if I may,
yeah.
Bill, that's a separate and distinct process. That's the one that we undertook as a municipality to do an RFI. So if you're probably referring to my report that's also in this package,
Yes.
it's a different matter altogether. It's specific to the Township of South Algonquin's needs.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Everything okay then, Councillor Rodnick?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm in council's hands as to what you would like to do. Will we proceed with a letter? Or will we not proceed with a letter of concurrence? Based on what the other townships have done.
Do we have a motion in the package?
No,
No.
we're gonna do it through just staff direction through.
Okay.
So the letter is basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Sajid and Chris, it's just a concurrence letter saying that they provided a public consultation under the regulation.
And if we don't agree with this time, what happens? Does this come back again?
Actually,
No.
do you want to answer that, Chris?
Well, thank you for that question. Through you, Madam Mayor, if I may respond. It is the township's obligation to accept our consultation and to respond one way or the other, whether or not council feels like we followed the process. So from the federal government's perspective, a non-response, it would not be acceptable. And so, you know, we look for council to respond to the application one way or the other, whether or not we followed the process. And I believe that staff has prepared similar concurrence letters for the other 2 sites in the township. So this letter would be the same format as the others that staff had previously provided.
Can you point out where the other 2 towers are on this map?
Yes, they are this tower that's labeled C8509 to the north, Councillor,
Okay.
right here. And the other one is to the west, C8508.
And those are in our township.
Yes, Councillor.
Okay.
They're along 127.
Road.
One of them is.
I believe 8508 is along 127 and 8509 is on 523.
Okay, thank you.
One is on the Magui Road that we came to council not long ago.
Yes.
That'd be the 127 one.
It was raised to 127, but it was always, on the Magui Road when it was referenced.
Okay,
That's why
thank-
maybe there's some confusion.
Okay, thank you. Well, not to be confused today, I'm asking council, what you wish to do. Will we proceed with the concurrence letter? Or do we not proceed?
I would say proceed. They obviously have met the federal recommendations. And really, it is increasing our cognitivity and will also enhance if we ever do end up getting an RFP to put more towers within our areas of no coverage.
Okay, thank you, council. Can we have anyone else? Okay, we have a
Madam
recommendation.
Mayor?
Council Floor, go ahead.
Out of respect for the rest of council and to make sure that they can feel that they can speak freely, I'm going to ask for a 5-minute break for myself, and council can make the decision when I'm not in the room.
Okay,
Just, I think somewhere, because of my longevity on council, and I'm obviously opposed to it, I think it may be influencing some of the other councillors for speaking up, and if I leave the room, they can speak up.
okay, thank you, council Florence. It's your decision if you want to leave the room. You were not asking you to leave the room.
I'm just going to watch.
Okay. Okay, so, Council Florin has left the room, so that members of council feel that they want to speak up. I'm letting you know that we are on Zoom. This is being taped, so just so council knows. Is there any members of council that wants to speak more freely?
The one question that I should be asking is the original site of where the tower was going to be. Then staff instructed for it to be moved. Where was the original site? You say it was a quarter of a kilometer or a kilometer and a quarter from where it is now?
Through you, Madam Mayor, if I may respond to the councillor, thank you for your question. I don't have a map of the property to display today, but I can describe to you. The property sits on the west side of the highway. It's roughly a rectangular in shape. And the longer portion of the rectangle runs along the east-west axis. The original tower location was in the southwest corner of the property, towards the very back of the property, the most southwestern area of the property. That was the area the landlord insisted that we put the tower. And it is often the case that, you know, to a degree are at the whim of what the landlord's wishes are. And so it took us, when staff asked us to move the tower, we agreed. It took us close to a year to convince this landowner to agree to the new location, to redesign the site, to requalify it from an engineering standpoint, because it was moved by approximately a quarter kilometer, to redo the survey, and to submit that information to staff. So it was a significant effort and compromise in terms of time and funds. But we were pleased to do that to get staff support.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I was just looking at something here and I'm a little confused. Is there a tower at C2705? Or going to be?
2705. I believe that's an existing tower that has likely been there for quite some time and is not part of the EORN program. So just to be clear,
Okay,
all of the towers that are on this map are not part of the EORN program. There are some towers that are existing, and there are some towers that are new. Generally speaking, the lower numbers, the C code numbers that start with 2, generally, these towers have kind of been deployed over time, and so the higher the number, the more recent it is, generally
Okay.
speaking. So the 8 series towers are new.
okay.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any other questions or comments from members of council? I don't see any hands. I don't feel you're okay. Okay, my recommendation to council is that we proceed with the letter that we already have on file somewhere, and we can get it done based on what has been said, that there is a letter, we can find it, it can be drafted for my signature. So my recommendation to council is that we proceed with this letter. This is not to say we're for or against, this is saying that they have followed their process. Let's be honest, there's going to be some people that might be opposed to this and are opposed to this. But based on the information that's come forward, for my benefit, I feel I can go to the township residents and say, this is why we are in favor of, supporting this. So with that, that's my recommendation to council. But I'm only one vote here, so 7, so I leave it up to you. I'd like to get this matter finalized today. And I'm hoping that we don't have another presentation next month.
If I can just add something, and Chris, and Saji, you can, and council, if we drafted the letter that the consultation process was done as per the other letter, but could we add something at the bottom? So council's concern is addressed within that letter and that it's out there in writing. However, we do not concur with the location of this tower. Would that help council make the decision easier for you? And would that affect you, Chris, in any way for proceeding?
Well, thank you for your question, Counselor, or am I apologize. I don't, it was hard for me.
Tracy. It was
Oh,
Tracy.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, if I may respond to Tracy. It is possible to provide certain conditions to the concurrence. Sometimes there are various conditions to provide as-built drawings as an example of one. So it is possible, to the extent township has 1 or 2 conditions to their concurrence, to include that in the letter. We could have a conversation with you after, and to help and assist with drafting the letter. But I think that the letter should be clear. Council either concurs we follow the process or not. And Obviously, the location isn't ideal. We understand that. We've done the very best that we can to find a location that will improve coverage to that part of the township. And, you know, I would say that, it would not be ideal if the letter said that council acknowledges we followed the process, but doesn't like the location. But, if I may suggest, perhaps if council instructs staff to provide the letter, we'd be happy to have a conversation with you about the wording of that and any stipulations you might like to include.
Yeah, because we don't want to hold you up in any way, but I feel that council still, correct me if I'm wrong, still wants to be heard that the location and wants the public to know that the location isn't ideal, but we understand that you follow the procedures for the consultation, and that's what you need to move forward, and you've done it. That's just I'm just trying to help everyone.
Yeah.
Your solution.
I appreciate that, Tracy, and I think we can accommodate that and assist you in some wording that would address that point and also be satisfactory to ISED.
Okay, Mike, okay, so then we will, between staff and you, Chris, and your, and Sergeant, whoever, you will draft up the letter, for my signature. And we'll send it out to members of council so that they have a copy, with them or have them. Does that suffice for everyone? Okay, thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful day. Wherever you are, don't be traveling too far in this weather.
Thank you very much again for your time. And we look forward to improving coverage in the township.
That would be wonderful. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Councilor Ford.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is the minutes of the previous meetings. So I'd ask for resolution to adopt the minutes of the council meeting of March 6th as circulated.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Florin, seconded by Councilor Sydock.
A council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the regular council meeting of March 6, 2024 as circulated.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. On mover and seconder to adopt the economic committee meeting of March 13, 2024. And looking for a mover and a seconder. Councilor Pigeon. Seconder, please. Councilor Couillard.
A council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the economic development committee meeting of March 13th, 2024 as circulated.
Duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you very much. I move in a second to adopt the minutes of the special council meeting of March 20th. Councilor Couillard. Seconded by Councilor Sydock.
A council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adopts the minutes of the special council meeting of March 20th, 2024 as circulated.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We're moving on to committee reports.
You may note that I didn't vote on that last issue, but I wasn't there. That's why I didn't vote.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I will point out that Tracy and I did do that training the following Wednesday.
Good. Thank you. Yes, I was here.
Yes, that's right.
Your intent. Who's first up with our committee? Library? Is Charlene on?
Charlie is, yes, Charlie's there, yep.
Good morning, Charlene.
Good morning. I'm here, but my video is failing to connect for some reason.
Okay. Want to just, can you just talk and without the video?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So this attached is our minutes from February. we're continuing our partnership with the Community Resource Center, and we'll be continuing offering children's programming in conjunction with the toy bus, which may happen 1 to 2 times a month, depending on the toy bus schedule. Also, I've put together our statistics for 2023 as a review of our overall library services.
Okay,
Also, I do have a question for council as well. I was reviewing the township strategic plan, but I didn't see mention of the library in it. So I guess I'm looking for what goals does council possibly have or visions they have for the library, just so I can make sure that we are aligning together.
okay, we'll get back to you with an answer.
Wonderful. So yeah, with our new services we added last year with the free little libraries and seed library, they were both very successful programs, and we'll be continuing those this year as well.
Good.
You can just scroll up a little bit. Potentially. Yeah, and a new statistic we started keeping actually during COVID was how many non-registered users the library is receiving, and that number is, it's not that far off what our active patrons are. So I wanted to demonstrate that, you don't even have to be a member to access quite a few services that we have.
Good to
And a lot of
know.
those could be tourists as well, or extended family visiting. Excuse me. If we can go down to the next slide, please. And this here, I won't go through the whole thing, but I just wanted, this is a really nice, concise overview if for counselors to get a deeper understanding of the governance structure of libraries and whose responsibilities lie where. So it's more of a reference piece, just to help. Next slide. Trying to remember. So yeah, that now, does anyone have any questions about any of this?
Okay, thank you, Charlene. Any questions for Charlene on the library?
How did the author talk go last night, Charlene? Brent?
We had 7 people in total, and we had 2 ladies that came from Deep River to attend. It was small, but it was very interesting. It was a very interesting talk. And we did that in the library here, so it was a nice intimate setting, and yeah.
Good.
Excuse me.
Any other comments or questions for Charlene?
I have one,
ahead,
it has to do with, I don't know if this is the time or the place to do this, was with one of your asks, Charlene, concerning the TVs. Did you have, anybody from staff look into that to see if there was, a possibility to use the TVs that you have for, to be connected?
Our TVs connect with AV jacks. They're pre-HDMI. So they came around before the internet, before the internet connectivity TVs came out. Does that answer that?
In a brief conversation I had with you that you were gonna look into it to see if there was some chance of being able to hook up with HDMI. Okay, thank you.
My next thought is, if Adam's in one day, I think we'd have to, it's wall mounted, so you can't even look behind it right now. So I don't know if there's a way to lift the mounting out so we can get behind it. That's a possibility.
Okay.
I just don't know how to do that.
I think that would help as well too with a decision that should be made, right?
Okay,
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Charlene.
have a great day.
You too, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Works and Roads, Stephen.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Steve.
Morning.
Did everybody have a chance to look through my report I put together?
I did.
Any questions?
Thank you.
First off, or?
You pretty much cover everything.
Yeah,
I can give you a quick overview.
yes, that would be
Guys, like,
wonderful. Thanks.
So the first page, I have our landfill operation. So now that spring's here, I did have a scrap steel for both sites done there yesterday, a pickup. So that'll be bringing revenue back into the waste services, that we provide. We did have annual reports for 2023 due at the end of March. JP2G had those completed. The next one is Hazardous Waste Day. It's booked for the 10th of August this year. And it alternates from Madawaska to Whitney every second year. So it was Madawaska last year, being Whitney this year. So that's pretty well everything for the landfills.
I have a question on that one. So, yesterday, when they picked up the scrap, they crossed the, bridge at Algonquin, is that the street? Is
Yeah.
there a load restriction on that bridge? No?
No, there's nothing posted on the second bridge, you mean down here?
Yes, not the
Yeah.
one in town, but the one.
Yeah, there's nothing.
No.
posted. No,
So there's no problem with
no,
having something like that?
they've always used that bridge for crossing. It's the only access point, so. So that's pretty well it for the landfills. In terms of road improvements, so we did try to get out to do some spot grading throughout the month of March. There was frost still in the ground, so we just did the best we could. It's, a lot of the back roads are pretty bad in terms of potholes. After the snowstorm is done, the long range is looking good, double digits next week. So the plan is we're going to take the wing off the grader next week there, and then it's going to run out, do a spot grade a few spots here in Whitney, probably the dump, hilltop going into, area road. There's a couple bad spots, and then it's going to head out to Mackenzie, work from Mackenzie and work its way back and cycle through the township. So that's the plan for grading. The next one I put in here was brushing operations. So we did get the brusher head going in March there. Once the snow melted down enough that you won't have real high stubbles and that, we run down to Moonlight Bay down at Allen Lake, and it worked well for us. We got on average 700 meters of road per day done with it. So we finished Moonlight Bay, and then we moved to the North Road. And I know Councillor Rodnick, he mentioned last year there were a couple of swamp areas where there was flying corners. So we got those brushed last week as well. And then the last thing we did was do some parking lot improvements down at Allen Lake Boat Launch. So we did some clearing along the road allowance. And those trees we salvaged and got them picked up and sent to Murray's. So we should get pulp value back for those. It was mostly poplar and spruce. And then the work we did, it's probably going to give us 10 to 15 additional parking spots down at that boat launch. So
And it looks great, Steve.
Thanks,
Thanks a
Councillor
lot.
Rodney.
So the plan is to wrap up down there today, Bill, and then once that's done, we're gonna fold all the equipment back. And then the next 2 weeks, we're gonna focus on equipment maintenance and then getting going with the sweeping. Hopefully this will be the last of the snow, and then we can get around and start doing some street sweeping. That's pretty well it for the roads update. In terms of winter sand, we're only up to 70% of what we brought in last year, so it's about 900 tons less we use this year than probably the year before. So we should save on our budget this year in terms of winter sand. And capital projects, I will be meeting up with, we have preliminary drawings completed for the road back here at Hay Creek. Meeting with the consultant tomorrow if the weather permits. If not, it'll be probably next week. And we're gonna finalize the drawing so we can get some work done here this year on it. The plan would be to get all the culverts and the ditching done this year, let the culverts settle, and then next year come in and do our pulverizing and paving. And then we move to the next one. One thing we did have on the list here was the retroreflectivity inspections. I reached out to Walsh Contracting that did Avon Lake a few years ago. In 2018, they do have a bill waiting for the signs that were purchased from Beacon Light. They're supposed to send that to me, and then we should get refunded. They should be still under warranty. We should get those covered. And then for equipment maintenance, the biggest one I would note would be that we got tandem 27 back. So it was gone for close to 2 months with repairs all under warranty. So they ended up changing the entire fuel system. International, it was at Winslow's getting serviced. International was advising Winslow's what to do on the truck. So they ended up changing all the fuel system, the fuel injectors, and it ended up being the ECM in the truck, the computer in it. So they got that changed, and we've used it 3 or 4 times since, and the trucks worked perfect since. So that's the biggest one for the equipment maintenance. And then in terms of upcoming tenders, once the budget is passed, I'll get the tenders sent out for the winter sand, the annual shredding, calcium placement, get that out of the way. Safety there, I got all the guys, we have HR downloads. It's a computer software that the town has. So I had everybody in the works department do update their WMS training, their AODA training, and Bill 168 training in the month of March. So everything should be good for this season for that. And then the next course booked is for traffic control, which is April 26th. And then the last update here I have is for the fuel pumps at the yard. So I provided sort of a pretty good breakdown of an update what happened for the fuel pumps. So right now, Hydro One did give us acceptance to continue using the pumps. So a safety talk will be held with the guys, and then we'll review everything. And just as a precaution, we're going to, every time we go to use the pumps, just check what the voltages are at the pumps before we go to use them. So we get confidence back in them, and then should save quite a bit of money on our fuel costs going forward by having it in the yard. So that's everything I had.
Thank you. Thank you. Council Floyd?
Steve, I see that you have a meeting scheduled with John Swick from the M&R and Tracy Bradley from the Algonquin Forest Authority regarding Major Lake Road. I was out Major Lake Road yesterday, and I really think if there's not something positive comes out of your discussion with these two people, that we seriously have to consider preserving the integrity of that road by not removing the half loads and keeping it permanently under half loads. Like there's sections of that road that is absolutely horrible. The bridge surface is absolutely horrible. And we have ratepayers that depend on that road and that bridge for access. And I think we have to put them ahead of Algonquin Park. It's a major access to Algonquin Park. It's a major route for logging. And those agencies, like today, don't contribute anything to that road. And I think that's got to change.
I would agree, like the logging operation that's mainly causing the most wear and tear on the road. So, and Ontario Parks uses it as an access point, same as what people in Macaulay do. So I think it should be a shared cost between everybody that's using it to get that road replaced. So what I can do is after I have the meetings, I can send out just an email update with what's discussed. And then it give everybody an update on how the meeting went.
Absolutely, because it's been discussed at this table before that the township should not be forking the entire bill for the maintenance and repairs of that road and the bridge. Right?
Yeah, it's about 7 weeks from now until the scheduled removal of the half loads. Surely those agencies can come up with something in 7 weeks or so. And I'm serious. I think we really have to consider it because all you gotta do is drive up there and you can see.
No, absolutely. So do you keep us,
Yep, so what,
Yeah.
John Swick, his latest email last week was that he would try to combine a meeting with AFA, after Easter was done. So I'm still waiting on that meeting invite, but once I get it, I can keep everybody in the loop on when the meeting's occurring, and then I can come up with some meeting minutes and what comes out of the meeting afterwards, sort of thing.
It's great.
thank you.
If I can just, jump on to Steve's report, him and I had a conversation yesterday, Brian was involved in it too, in regards to the Gallery Lake levels. I think moving forward, I'm gonna set up a meeting with M&R Ave. The water's really low right now, I guess, over here, and I guess if someone wanted to put a boat in, they couldn't. Or it'd be hard. So I think Steve and I are going to, and maybe Brian, if he wants to, request a meeting with them to see how they foresee the levels of Galleria Lake being this year, because it was bad last year. People were damaging their boats. And I would like to get maybe John Swick involved in this too, as it is the Welcome Park access point.
Further to that, about 3 weeks ago or so, I noted that the water level at the Major Lake Bridge was almost at the normal summertime level, within a foot or so. Yesterday, it's down at least 6 to 7 feet. So there's no water coming into the system.
No.
And if you drive through Madawaska, you can see there's a big hole to fill up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also heard that, further down from Bark Lake down, the, people met to discuss, Kameneske water levels just recently. So we're not, the only one that are having some issues, but when they're having issues, Bark Lake drops. And then obviously there's no water to come for it. So I think it's more than just a county or township issue. It's
All
probably,
over, but there was issues here last fall.
yes,
And I just
absolutely.
don't wanna make sure it happens again. Like I want to, cause
At the dock where the cement platform is there, or the loading?
yeah, people, they can't get their boats in because the way it drops, where our hands are tied. we
Yeah.
can't. And why should we extend
Yeah.
that? Because it worked fine until the new dam was put in.
And we've noticed a couple big rocks sticking up now that we've never seen before.
So I'm gonna set up in a meeting and we'll try to figure something out before summer comes because
It would
we
be
know the
interesting.
doors are gonna be.
Absolutely. And I,
Yeah.
it would be interesting to know the conversation that happened with all of the partners down further.
During our freshen meetings, of course, they ask us if any of the townships have any issue, and the last conversation I brought forward, issue I had, just refill Bark Lake and Gallery, that's our concern. And they said they had no issue filling Gallery, and that, what was gonna be maybe a meter out on Bark.
Yeah,
That they predicted, of course, but I think they're gonna be more than that out, but
When there's no runoff, there's no water.
You know,
let's hope this snow that's
To
coming.
fill these big holes. right?
Yeah.
So
A little bit more.
I think, people might have to get used to the idea that this may possibly be the norm. Or it could get worse. Happens.
I thought we were all gonna be flooded out for global warming.
Well, that's gonna happen, but anyhow, yeah, everything's just drying up, right? So,
See, Phil add some fish to that.
Yeah, none left. Everybody else is good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Stephen. I appreciate your report. Do you have any plans for tomorrow if we get like 24 centimeters of snow?
Hoping we're not gonna get that much.
I will just
do you
pray
like
it
the rest
tonight.
of us and just let it melt?
Yeah. Hopefully the phone doesn't stop ringing.
We can look after, like the paved roads will be no problem, it's more of the back roads.
Yeah.
They'll be so soft now, so hopefully we don't get too much, and if we don't, we'll just leave them.
Okay, thank you.
I'll keep you in tune.
Okay, so I'll,
Contact with you, Stephen.
bye, Steve, thank you.
Thank you.
Fire Chief Collins is away,
Yeah.
so we just report. Going on to the Brian Martin.
Good morning, Council. My report's very brief, simply talking about the request for information that we undertook after we had our meeting with the Eastern Ontario Regional Network was in and made presentation to Council back in September. From that, we moved forward with a request for information to see if there were any providers that were interested in closing the digital divide within South Algonquin. And we're quite pleased to see that we did have a number of proponents who would be interested in doing so. And from that discussion and those investigations, we were able to determine some approximate costs for the development of complete coverage within the community. Basically now we're at the point where the question is, does council want to proceed? And if so, then we should start searching for potential funding sources from the federal and the provincial levels of government, because there had been a program that was available called ASIP. It was the Accelerated High-Speed Internet Program, where the governments were trying to accelerate internet. Of course, our population density probably worked against us and nobody had any interest at that time. So we're hoping there may be some additional funds still sitting at the provincial and federal levels to close the divide. And we feel it would be worth working towards seeing what funds are available there. I do see that Paula Preston from the Eastern Ontario Regional Network is online with us, and Tracy did attach a bit of a briefing she had sent with respect to the towers that had been previously presented to council. I don't know if there's anything further that needs to be added to that or any questions regarding either of the reports that have been submitted to council. But if you do, please feel free to bring forward those questions.
Any questions for Brian on the closing the digital divide?
Just one thing, Brian, I would suggest, again, bringing Park Superintendent into the loop on that, because a lot of the area that we talked about having better service would actually better service users of Algonquin Park than it would for the township of South Algonquin. I'm talking about Major Lake Road access again.
Yeah, no, certainly we talked about the areas where we had intense logging operations going on, and how cell service is definitely something of importance to those individuals undertaking that work. And certainly as we move forward, if council gives direction to staff, if we move forward, what we would do is bring parks into this as part of our strategy in seeking for funding. And the benefits that it would benefit the park as well, so they could become another partner in the process, which may help give us a more positive outlook when we go looking for a fairly substantial amount of money. As is noted, it's anticipated that each tower is valued at about $1 million.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments for Brian?
Comment, yeah, it's definitely beneficial to have a part of the provincial government as a partner. So I think the grant application or trying to get funding for this would be it'd be a little easier, perhaps.
Thank you, Councillor. Fisher, any other questions or comments? Do you need a resolution, Brian, or just a recommendation from council to move ahead?
I do believe that Tracy's included a resolution in the package. I could be wrong, but I believe there is one. And before council wraps up, I don't know if Paula had anything to add to her report, or whether that matter's been addressed now.
Paula online?
Yes, she's there, yeah.
Paula, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, Paula's just trying to unmute. Sorry, I have nothing to add. I think that with the approval of the 8510, I think that's a great step to moving forward. And I think Brian summarized well where we are.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, we'll deal with the resolution as it comes up then. Brian, is there anything else you'd like to report to council?
I have nothing else to add at this time.
Thank you very, very much. Just the next item is just the minutes, just to highlight that May 4th is the open house in Barry's Bay, that they're asking people to attend if they can. Is there anything, any more questions on that? Okay, moving on to council board.
For what, comments on the recreation? Is that what you're looking for?
On the Parks and Recreation, yeah, did you wanna?
I don't know, it kind of speaks for itself. I will comment that, the activities in the March break were a surprise to everybody by the attendance. It was unbelievable how many people attended. I think Councillor Sydock was at one of them. It was like 170 people or something like that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
wonderful, eh?
That was the kids petting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a few less animals this time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
or reptiles, but
yeah.
Well,
They
lot of-
didn't
lot of-
feel they got the best bang for the buck, but
They
the
came out.
participation was unreal.
yeah.
Well, that's good. Tells you there's a need, right?
Yeah,
Tells
well,
there's a need.
yeah,
Thank-
need for something for the kids to do in the March break.
Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you for that. We've completed the committee staff report. I'm going to call 5-minute break. I'm going to call the wellness break.
Okay.
Okay, back on.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, so do any, back to, any council reports?
Councilor reports.
Yeah.
I don't have a report, but I got a
No, go
comment.
ahead, yeah, go ahead.
That we all attended, I shouldn't say we all attended, the Saba open house, last Wednesday. It was, informational, the information was there, it was good, good conversation as well too. And, I think, it's a positive in moving forward with, some forms of economic development in this community. So I just thought I'd make note of that.
Thank you, Council Pijot. Anyone else? Okay, just a quick update, from my point, DSAP, meetings are still continuing. We, are awaiting, getting the housing report. It'll be presented at the, April meeting. And they will then, there'll be recommendations that may come then in May, on the report. We don't know anything for sure yet, but I just wanted to highlight that for you. The health unit, just wanna bring to council's attention, which you probably know, but I had copies made of the release on, sorry, maybe I just pass that around, on the upcoming, solar eclipse. And that we should be very, very careful. And if we can, I would ask that we put on our website something about this.
It's on there.
Or is it on there? But maybe we do it, for Monday. It's really emphasizing, to be very, very safe. I know that some people are saying, oh, it's nothing, I'll just go out and I'll wink and I'll just hold my hand over my eyes and that. And I'm trying to say to people, don't do that. You know, that's not the way to look at this solar eclipse, but I guess everybody feels, you know, that they're going out to buy some of these glasses. But you got also, these glasses have to be approved by optometrists or ophthalmologists or, their organizations or say if you want safe glasses. So, just so we're all aware of that, and if talking to any of our residents to let them know to be very, very careful. I understand a lot of the schools have closed, they're closing that day, so I know the daycare is closed. Is our school closed? I think it is.
I think all schools
All
are closed.
schools are closed, that day. So, that's Monday, coming up. So be careful, out doing that. So, just wanted to bring a couple things to your attention.
If I can make an amusing comment to that, I seen a post, I believe it was on Facebook, but it might not have been, advising pet owners to keep their pets inside. And the comment was that pets aren't as stupid as humans, that are not gonna sit there and stare at the sun.
Well, that's probably hitting the nail on the head. Yeah. So, Brian Meitner and myself have been, on a conference call with Melanie Shea from the District Social Services Board, who is, keeping us apprised and updated as things become available, with the District Social Services Board. So I think that was very productive and, a way for us to move forward. So with that, I will move to, is there any business arising from the minutes? Councilor Rodnick, are you with us?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, is there any unfinished business that council members would like to bring forward?
Unfinished business, I'm sorry.
Yes, go ahead, Councilor.
Yeah, unfinished business, I wanna see where we are standing at the filling of the position of grant writing. That was one of my questions, and my other question as well too is, where are we with the replacement of our chief, our fire chief?
Okay, Brian, do you have any, answers to that at this?
I do. They're actually on my list of to-dos for today that we'll be issuing requests for anyone interested to let us know related to grant writing. And I'm just reviewing previous advertisements that have been undertaken related to the fire chief's role. And those will hopefully be off my desk and out into the public today.
Okay, perfect.
Brian, can I ask how you're going to word the one for the grants?
I'm just looking to see if there's I'm going to word it in such a way that I'm going to look to see for them to provide a proposal to me on how they would undertake the grants, how they would determine what that would cost and what their experience is with writing grants and success in writing grants. So that we can do a bit of an evaluation on their skills and capacities, and it's not just somebody that's never written a grant going to look at a way of starting to write grants to make some extra money.
Okay. Are there any, staff members in other councils, Brian, that you're aware of that, do grant writing that we could, maybe partner up with?
That's quite possible as well, Ethel. There are a number of municipalities that have, in most of them, they're calling them community development officers. And quite often one of their tasks on their job description is undertaking grant writing on behalf of the municipality, and it's overseen by the CAO.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Dr. Fisher?
I just have one, if we could maybe firm up the date for the budget meeting. I believe the 17th was proposed. We have to cancel the 10th. And we have a C of A meeting on the 17th at
Yes.
9, and I can invite rec to come around 9:30. And then we can have the budget meeting after that. Is there any?
Thanks for bringing that forward. I forgot about that. Yes, the budget meeting was set for next Wednesday, but the CVA, the other meeting for the request, for the,
I had requested that the rec come before the budget meeting on the 10th.
okay, but we have a meeting before that.
That was on the 17th, committee of adjustment is that?
Committee of Adjustment,
9.
which didn't have much on it.
No,
That's
there's only
right.
one application.
There's only one
I don't
application,
foresee-
so in lieu of time and resources and that, the suggestion was that we move the budget meeting from the 10th to the 17th. So we do 3 meetings in one.
We'll have it as one committee meeting, and then we'll meet with rec. They can talk about the raise roof, and we can have that discussion with them about that. And then, we'll proceed right into the, budget presentation, if that's okay.
So let's see on the 5th.
17th. Now that depends on whether the rec committee can come or not.
Yeah, I
We
haven't
don't
put it out to
know
them yet.
We don't know that yet. So that's pending.
But I think either way, if they can't come, or is council okay to proceed with budget then?
Yes,
Regardless.
my recommendation is that we move ahead on the 17th.
Sounds good.
Is there anyone opposed to that? So that means you wouldn't have a meeting on the 10th,
Nothing on the 10th.
nothing on the 10th,
Okay.
meeting on the 17th with 3 items, at this point in time, if recreation is available.
Is there a reason we can't meet on the 10th?
Well, it just saves doing 2 meetings, Councilor Moore.
Brian can't make it.
Brian can't make it,
Okay. I'm okay with it.
okay?
So the
Works for me.
17th.
Okay, so 10th is canceled, we're moving to the 17th, and I'll send out a upcoming agenda.
Okay, while we're speaking of meetings, May 15th, I believe, is the next opening for a committee meeting.
May 15th, yes.
May 15th, okay, so can we book that for, economic development meeting? 15th, if that's okay with everybody?
Okay.
Everybody?
I know me.
Okay. Any other unfinished business?
Just if I can give a shout out and a reminder to people for the The two trivia nights coming up, the 15th of April is downstairs here at the seniors. And the 29th of April is at the rec complex in Madawaska.
This year, you said?
Yep.
You have to have teams, is that right? You have to be on a team,
Well, there's a maximum of 6 persons per team.
right?
I'm sure if you don't have a team and you would like to participate, if you just give your name to Elaine Siegel, she will fit you in, because there's always teams that are short players.
Yeah, if you come in to visit, you'll get assigned to a team. So be careful.
And then Madawaska is what's
The 29th.
29?
They're both on Monday evenings.
Okay, thanks, Councilor Florent. Correspondence, are we on to correspondence action items? Okay. We have 10 resolutions of support.
Yes, we have, these are all resolutions. There's a couple in there that is, the OPSU is, the Declaration of National Public Safety Telecommuter. That's from April 14th to the 20th, so there's a resolution in for that. And everything else, I believe is resolutions of support, except for the resolution for the Joint Police Service Board. We have to designate a municipal representative for that committee, so there's a resolution, and we'll have to make that decision of who will sit on that.
Okay, so under all these actions, if we need resolutions for each of these?
I have resolutions for each, yeah.
Okay, so we'll deal with them in our resolution.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can deal with that.
Can I point out one thing about these resolutions?
Sure.
A
Go
lot
ahead,
of these
Councilor.
ones are brought forward to support other townships, and I believe they were brought forth by Councillor Collins,
Right,
who is not here to move them.
right, you're absolutely right.
I also agreed with some of them, but I would have to reread them again, to be honest with you.
I think there's one that I did ask to be brought forward to, but it
Yes.
was included in somebody else's.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on resolutions? I'd like to, council to think about moving into what they call consent agendas, which was something that came up in our meetings with Fred, Dean, and Nigel. The Redford County Health Unit and the DSOP Board both use consent agendas. And basically, it's just a very simple process where these would all be put in. And the only thing you would take out if you want to talk about one of those resolutions. So they would be done as a block. And if you want to talk about one, you just take it out of the consent agenda to talk about, as opposed to going through each one. Just something to think about. With that, I'm going to move, where am I in my agenda now? I'm sorry.
Information.
Information items, any questions on the information items? Okay. Any new business? I think we've covered new business. Motions of council.
Could I do business?
Yeah, go ahead.
If we wanna make, making a note of things that on Highway 127, there's signs that are missing.
What, where?
One of them was brought to my attention by, somebody who lives on Highway 127 in Township South Algonquin, is that, Moose Crossing sign is missing since they repaved 127. Right at the border, at the boundary between, South Algonquin and Hastings.
Or were you coming up to one?
When you're coming
Yeah,
towards Whitney at 127, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know.
there's a spot there where a lot of moose, there's a lot of moose vehicle collisions there,
Mhm.
and there's no sign there now. It was never put back up. The other sign that's missing is at Robinson Lake.
Was that in this one too?
No, the sign that actually said Robinson Lake, right at Route 127, where Robinson Lake, a lot of people don't even know that's Robinson Lake, but anyhow, there used to be a sign there, it was never put back up.
Well, we can look into that.
I'm actually in conversations with, MTO right now in regards to the sidewalk here in town and the speed and such. She's gone back to talk to some of their coworkers about it as well. So when she gets back to me, we'll mention this to her.
And I think somebody took one of the bicycle lane signs off of the highway as well too, in the northbound lane. And that's a souvenir probably, God knows.
Yeah.
It happens. But that's all through, I guess, Fowler and MTO.
Mhm.
So, then, actually, since we're having a discussion with that, with the speed reduction in both villages,
No, they don't know they're gonna go that way. She's gonna go back and have conversations, yeah. I haven't got, and it was just a preliminary conversation. I told her our concerns and she's gonna go back.
I was just wondering where we're at. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? No, nothing else on any business, two motions of council? Oh, under new business, you want, someone to designate on the police detachment,
We can talk about that when we
get to
the resolution.
it. Is there any volunteers that want to go on this provincial police detachment? Board lead, do I have volunteers? If you're interested, can you just send me an email and we'll designate someone, or someone on council right now is
Well, we need a
interested in doing that.
resolution today though.
Okay,
So, because I think we're supposed to have it to them by April 1st, but Brian had spoke with them and said, there's no way we're not having a meeting until.
okay, well, they can wait a couple of days. I'm sure. Okay, we'll do resolution, just remind me. Okay, we're moving on to resolution. Notices motion. Motions of council. Okay, the first one is, oh, okay.
That's that resolution for the representative.
That council of the township of South Algonquin designated representative for the police services board and Kittiloo detachment. Are there any offers?
This is something different than CPAC then.
Yes, it is. Yes. Everybody has their hands up.
What does it entail?
Yeah.
I think just some meetings, just a representative to kind of say you have your name there, basically. I don't think it's a whole lot of work or a lot of meetings. That's my.
Where in Killaloe?
They may be in Kittiloo, they may be by Zoom. And you may be, across the province,
And it's to talk about,
the work that they do.
I'd volunteer for that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I volunteer Lori too.
Counselor Sida?
Okay, so if I have a mover and seconder, we could, move that motion and second it, and we can. Moved by Councillor Briak, second by Councillor Pizarro.
That council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin designates Councillor Sidoc as a representative for the police service board Kittiloo detachment.
Been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Congratulations, Councillor Sidoc.
Another job.
The second motion, to assist in creating partnerships. This is the one that, Brian Martin has brought to our attention. Do I have a mover and a seconder?
I'll move.
Councillor Kriak? Councillor
Second.
Sidoc?
The council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin authorizes staff to investigate potential funding to assist in creating partnerships between upper levels of government and the private sector, which will enable the township to close the digital divide that currently exists within the township, and to secure any available funding to move this project forward to a request for proposal.
Been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I just want to make sure councilors know what this is. It's telling us that if we pass this, then council will be responsible for the places that are now deemed ineligible sources, such as all the churches, daycares, schools, any municipal owned building, well, I guess we're responsible for that anyway.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Floyd. Any other discussion on this motion? See none, I'll call the question. All in favor? We need to vote.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. So we're doing the one with the partnership between upper levels of government and the sector. Isn't that the one that was proposed by Brian?
Council,
Yes.
Brian, can
Yes.
you?
Yes, that resolution is from my report, specific
Right.
to looking for funding for closing the digital divide within the township.
So it's got
Oh,
nothing to
that's-
do with cemeteries.
Oh, okay, we're a little mixed up here.
Yeah, they're not in the right order in the package then.
That one is where Brian was looking for information, correct? You put out an RFI?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
This is to move forward to try and find funding to allow us to go out to a request for proposals that may allow for future development.
So
Right.
this is an, okay,
Right.
so.
Well, I
Yeah, this
will
was
do
from the
that.
report, not
I
action.
think you already did.
Did I? Did I move it
You
first?
did.
Okay, great.
Okay, are we on the right resolution now? Everybody, okay? Okay, then duly moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Okay,
We're not in action. This is from, we do resolutions of motions of council. So this is from,
Brian.
Brian's
Brian's
report.
report.
Oh, okay, I'm moving back here.
So if you're in action, it's not gonna be in there.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay,
It's another reason why we should be going back to paper instead of on computer.
that's why I get paper. Yeah, I can't do it.
Confusing here, you gotta keep jumping back
Yeah,
and
you
forth.
do.
Okay, I'm going to call the question on this resolution. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Okay, the second resolution is resolution number. It's not 24 something, but anyway, it's to declare National Public Safety Telecommunications Week in the
This is
town
part
of
of the
South
action.
Algonquin.
I'll move that.
Moved by Councillor Florence, seconded by Councillor Sidoff.
Whereas emergencies can strike without warning, necessitating immediate action and the involvement of well-prepared emergency services. And whereas the ambulance communications officer of the Renfrew Central Ambulance Communications Center serve as the unsung heroes and vital first point of contact in these critical moments, acting with speed, precision, and empathy. And whereas ambulance communications officers skillfully dispatch 2 paramedic services and 15 townships, fire departments, coordinating essential resources and personnel to manage crises effectively and efficiently. And whereas their expertise and calm demeanor under pressure ensure the efficient coordination of life-saving services, bridging the gap between the community in distress and the swift response of emergency services. And whereas through their diligent efforts, ambulance communications officers uphold the highest standards of public safety, contributing significantly to the protection of life and property. And whereas their role as a cornerstone of the emergency response system is characterized by a remarkable commitment to providing care and ensuring the safety of both the public and emergency responders. And whereas the professionalism, skill, and compassion exhibited by these dedicated individuals not only save lives, but also provide reassurance and hope to those in urgent need. And whereas the community trust and safety are continually enhanced by the tireless work and dedication of these outstanding professionals. Therefore, be it resolved that the Corporation for the Township of South Algonquin hereby declares April 14th to the 20th, 2024 as a National Public Safety Telecommuters Week in the Township of South Algonquin, and we call upon all citizens to acknowledge and celebrate the exceptional service and commitment of our local ambulance communications officers, whose work is essential in maintaining the safety and well-being of our community.
Been duly moved and seconded. Thank you. Any discussion on this resolution? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. And the next resolution is from the Township of Perry to amend Blue Box regulation for ineligible sources. And I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move that. I reread it, misunderstood it the first reading. I'll move that motion.
Council Florence, moved by Council Florence, seconded by Council Kuya.
The council for the corporation of the Township of South Algonquin supports the resolution from the Township of Perry requesting the province to amend the Blue Box regulation for ineligible sources.
Been moved, duly moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just
Go
one
ahead.
thing, in
Craig.
case that other counselors have misunderstood it like I did. It's not saying that the municipality is going to be responsible. The municipality is responsible, and this is asking the provincial government to take the responsibility for those products that are put out for recycling that aren't covered by the manufacturer. Under the new legislation, the manufacturer is going to be responsible for all the cost of recycling their products. But there are some products out there that are created in-house that there's no manufacturer for them. And they give a list of them there, like daycare centers and churches and things like that. So this is petitioning the provincial government to be responsible for it all, not just the.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification. I'm going to call the vote. All in favor? All carried. I'm gonna ask for a mover and a seconder to support the resolution from the town of Grimsby and the county of Prince Edward for review of the Ontario Works and Ontario Disability Assistance Rates. Do I need a mover and a seconder?
I'll bring it up on the floor anyways.
Council Kuya, Councillor, seconded by Councillor Sidoff.
The council for the corporation of the Township of South Algonquin support the resolutions from the town of Grimsby and the county of Prince Edward for a review of the Ontario Works and Ontario Disability Support Program assistance rates.
Okay, it's been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Council Ford.
I'm not opposed to increasing the Ontario ODSP portion of this, but when they include the Ontario Works portion, and we're all aware of abuse in the Ontario Works system. And I think Ontario Works was set up to be a hand up, not a hand out. And some people, that's their job, is being on Ontario Works for the rest of their life. And if we double, I think this is asking to double the amount that we give them, there's absolutely no hope of these people ever getting back into the workforce and being productive citizens.
Okay, thank you, Council Ford. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed?
I will.
It's defeated. The next resolution is from the town of Godrich to ask for Roma and the Good Roads Conference be brought back together like they used to be back in the good old days, I guess. Okay, so I'll ask for a mover and a seconder. I don't.
What is the benefit of
It's basically a cost savings and it means not going to two different conferences. And they used to be together. One would overlap the other. So if you're already, say down in Toronto, you stayed for the next conference. And if I remember correctly, some of their agendas were kind of brought together. I guess there's pros and cons to it, but I think it's probably more of, bringing it back together and more of a cost saving for people. That's my understanding.
Because I know the one show that I did attend, there's just a lot.
There's a lot of
Going
go,
on.
yeah.
Are we going to discuss this before we
I
put it on the floor? or-
I was gonna correct.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, thank you, sorry.
I
I was
will
just
put
trying to
the motion on the floor.
Yes, okay.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay, I need a mover and seconder. Sorry about that.
All right,
Council Clea, seconded by Council Sidon. Okay, it's been duly moved and seconded. Go
The
ahead.
council for the corporation, the township of South of Auckland, support the resolution from the town of Goderich to return to a combined Roma and Ogre conference.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Now I'm going to open for discussion. Thanks, Council Fawns. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna take the opposite view that the mayor just explained to you. She's correct, they were combined, but not for that long of a period. Originally, they were separate, then they were combined, now they're separate again.
Yep.
Typically, the Roma convention is in January, the Ogre convention is in
In
April. So if you want, I think the target for the Ogre convention is maybe counselors to a certain degree, but I think it's more geared towards works officials, like work superintendent or people that are employed in the works department. So it's a little bit, there's a little bit of overlap in the projected audience, but typically the Roma is just for politicians and the Ogra is politicians and or workers. The timing of the Ogra one enables those people employed in the roads department to attend, because there's not typically a lot going on in April or mid-April on the roads department. In the middle of January, I can't imagine the road superintendent taking off for 4 or 5 days. For that reason, I'm opposed to putting them together. And like you mentioned, it's so much information to absorb. Either one, I've been to both, and there is a lot of information there, no doubt about it at all.
Okay, thank you, Council Fawns. Any other discussion?
No, that is clear now. I was just wondering what the benefit.
Yeah, my apologies.
No, that's fine, and I spoke out of turn and I
I'm
apologize.
going back
The
in
mayor is
history.
absolutely correct. There is possibly a bit of cost savings by combining them.
And it's speakers and trying to set up speakers, it's trying to get the audiences with the ministers. It's all of that, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Defeated?
Defeated?
No. The next resolution, I'm looking for a mover and a seconder to initiate the transfer of responsibilities. I don't understand this one at all.
Is this the ride sharing one?
Yes.
I don't have an opinion one way or the other.
Do I have a mover and a seconder to get it on the floor? Either gets defeated or it's not. If there's no mover and a seconder, then we don't deal with it. That's it. Okay.
Watching council.
Yeah, Council Rodnick, you? No, okay. Okay, so there's no mover and a seconder, so that the motion will not be dealt with. The next one is from the town, that we support the resolutions from the municipality of St. Charles and the town of Aylmer regarding the provincial consideration for amendments to the Residential Tenancy Acts. A mover and a seconder? Why did we bring these?
It was Councillor Collins brought these forward.
Okay, so,
She's not here to address them, which is,
yeah,
I was
okay.
gonna say as well, I read them, but it's been a while and I did agree with a lot of what, Councilor Collins had put on, so. I would almost have to go and reread every one of them again and understand why I thought they were a good idea, but.
Can I ask that we table these until
Sure.
Council Collins is back?
Okay.
I'll ask the indulgence of council to do that.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be the next, that'd be the rest of them.
Yes.
They're all, yeah.
Yeah,
No, there's one there that I asked to bring
Okay.
forward.
Yes, and that
Okay.
was the 988 crisis line.
Yes,
Okay.
So we're going to table the.
could we just move to table the rest and then bring yours forward, council?
sure.
Lauren?
Which one was it?
The, suicide prevention hotline.
Oh,
So that's, the next, no, 1, 2. Third one, the fourth resolution we'll deal with, okay?
And, sorry, the other one is what we were talking about earlier, the, municipalities of Ontario policy update regarding social and economic prosperity review.
You want to deal with that one, council,
It would
quick?
be nice, yes.
the last two ones, right?
The last two then? Okay, so we're tabling 3 resolutions then,
Two.
okay,
The one, the Residential Tenancy Act and the livable income one then.
Yeah.
okay? Do we need a motion to table?
We need a notion for the 988. No, I don't think we need a motion to table them. We'll just bring them back to the next council meeting.
Okay, so the next one then is the 988 National Suicide and Crisis Hotline. Okay, I'll move to a mover and a seconder. Councillor Green, Councillor sign off.
The Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin support the resolution from the Corporation of the City of Clarence, Rockland regarding the 988 National Suicide and Crisis Hotline.
It's been duly moved and seconded, and I think Council Florence wants to speak to that.
I don't really have, I think the motion speaks for itself.
Okay.
I think suicide prevention should be on the top of everybody's radar. And anything that we can do to alleviate the crisis better, and a hotline certainly would help to do that.
Okay, thank you. Absolutely. Any other discussions? See none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. The next one is for the AMO to undertake a review to promote stability and sustainability of municipal finances across Ontario. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder for this one. Councillor Kuyak. Seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Florence.
The Council for the Corporation of the Township of South Algonquin support the resolutions from the Township of Hudson and the Town of Orangeville regarding the request to the Province of Ontario to commit to undertaking with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario a comprehensive social and economic prosperity review to promote the stability and sustainability of municipal finances across Ontario.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? See none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Is that all of the motions?
That is it.
I do have, sorry, can I just go back to that?
Okay,
So AMO sent out, a letter, a notification, March 27th. I believe I received it in my mail on the 28th of March. And it had a list of municipalities that had already been sort of designated as to be part of this review. We were not one of them, and I'm just wondering, how do you, or could you look to see if we could get our name in that, because or on that list? Because certainly I think a review of what the
Finances Act.
finances are for the province is certainly needed.
We can check into it, Councillor Kuyak.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll make a note of that and get back to you. Thank you. Okay, the next, got my agenda here. Notices of motion. Is there any notices of motion from any council members? Okay, we have a bylaw. That needs to be, we need a mover and a seconder. It's the bylaw to, confirm the proceedings of council. So I would ask for a mover and a seconder for bylaw 2024-788 to confirm the proceedings of council. Mover,
I'll move it.
Councillor Florent. Seconder,
Councillor Rodnick is got his hand up.
Councillor Rodnick, thank you.
That bylaw 2024-788 to confirm the proceedings of council be read a first time and be deemed read a second time.
Been duly moved and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. We need to move this a third time, so I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Sydock. Councillor Whedon.
Bylaw 2024-788 to confirm the proceedings of council will be read a third time and passed.
Been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. That's the bylaw, the only bylaw we had for this meeting. The next is, we don't have any items for closed session today. So I will ask for a mover and a seconder for the adjournment of this council meeting at, time is it 10:50 a.m. I'll have a mover,
I'll move that.
Councillor Florent. Seconder, Councillor Pichon.
The council for the corporation of the township of South Algonquin adjourns the regular council meeting of April 3rd, 2024 at 10:50 a.m.
It's been duly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Has anybody ever voted against that?
Opposed? It's carried. Probably not, but if you don't do it, then you could be, brought to task on it. Okay, so it's carried. With that,